My name is Liam, Junior Baseball Fanatic 12, and join me as I travel across this vast card community interviewing some of the most influential and interesting names in the hobby on today's episode of In the Dugout with Liam. All right, everybody. Now, before we get into today's episode, I just wanted to let you know that the format might be a little different than my previous Q&As, but as soon as we got there, we hopped right into it. He was such a pro, and I hope you all enjoy this video as much as I enjoyed making it. So, without further ado, let's hop into it. Hey everybody, welcome on into the Dugout. I'm your host, Liam, Junior Baseball Fanatic 12, and this collection is absolutely incredible. And I'm here with Jeff Kaler, and he has an incredible collection, but I'll let him tell you about that.
Well, yes, I'm 50 years old and I've been collecting since I was 5. So this is kind of like the culmination of everything. But my passion really started with the mini gold glove. A few years ago, I was at a spring training game right here at McKechnie Field. And there was a kid there with one of these who was trying to get Andy McCutchen. And I was like, that is a really good looking thing to have an autograph on and unique. So I went to see Mike Piazza, maybe even before then get inducted into the Hall of Fame, bought a bunch of gold gloves, and that's where it all started. Just started getting the Hall of Famers to sign the gold gloves, and I've tracked down everybody, and I think I need a total of 12 more, and considering the new class, to have everybody who's won a gold glove since these have been created by Rawlings.
That is incredible. Who are the players that you're missing?
Okay, so of the past players, the players is Javi Baez and Ramon Urias, which is ironic because the Orioles play right down the road here at Smith. But most of the other guys the remaining guys are guys from this past year, which I will not be able to get until spring training.
Right.
That's when you'll be able to get most of them. And so it looks like I'll probably be able to pick up about 8 or 9 during spring training.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How many signed gold gloves do you think you have?
I think I have exactly 512, Liam. I think I have 512 of them.
That is awesome. And
some duplicates. Over here is where we store Christmas stuff.
That's cool. Bob and Brett Boone.
Yeah, there's a couple duels that I have. Do I have a Bell duel? What's this? Maybe I don't. Thought I did, I don't. This is a funny story. Cody Bellinger when he won it. This is just when he has such a terrible autograph. So he signed it, but I put blue tape where I wanted it, and the blue tape, I don't even know where it was, ripped off part of the gold glove, the mini gold glove. Yeah. So my buddy felt really terrible about it, and that led to him saying, well, let me do you a favor, okay? And he was like, I know I have a connection to this guy who's a tough signer, Zach Greinke. And so that led to my Zach Greinke gold glove. So you see, sometimes what will happen is one thing will lead to another, will lead to another, will lead to another. Bud Harrelson, I know he has dementia now, but I got so angry that I couldn't get one. I made my own. But then about a week later, the universe then said, wait a second. I was able to find one that's got Bud Harrelson in the middle, but Ron Darling and Ray Ordonez, who are also Mets gold glovers.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the universe, to my knowledge, there is not another one of Bud Harrelson I've ever seen. To my knowledge, I've never seen one. I'm trying to think who else was really. He's tough. Here's another guy that's tough, and you wouldn't guess it. Doug Flynn. He played for the Mets. He played for the Tigers. His 1986 Topps card, he charges $500 to sign it. And so, and he does that just so to make it for set collectors. And I think he donates some money to charity, but he kind of created his own demand, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So only at like auctions or at charity events and stuff like that will he sign the card. The 86 Doug Flynn card, yeah. And these are the guys though that are tough, and that's what I keep telling people. Like a guy like Travis Fryman, he won once. So to be able to get him one time, you know, to find him at the college he's a bench coach for is not easy. So you got to do some research and stuff like that.
So cool.
And then something like this, like I said, you know, everyone's going to say, oh, wow, that must, well, to be honest, people would rather have, in this thing, would rather have, who's a good one? Kenny Rogers than Bob Gibson, because Bob Gibson, before he passed away, signed. Kenny Rogers, no one knows where he is. He could be in another country. We don't, you know, we just don't know. So he's a very hard signer. So a lot of it just comes down to supply and demand.
Right.
The best story I have is Dusty Baker, who won a Gold Glove. So we got to go back over to the B's. So he was doing something with electric, like alternate forms of electric. So there's a great site called sportscollectors.net where people will give you like addresses where they've had successes sending away and stuff like that. So I sent Dusty Baker a mini Gold Glove with a self-addressed envelope. Okay. He sent it back to me with $20. I don't understand. I never understood that. But yeah, no, Dusty Baker, he signed it and gave me a $20 bill.
That's never heard of that.
Yeah, I haven't either. And then
They're paying you for their own autograph.
Yeah.
To give you their autograph.
and then here's another one which was interesting. I don't know what Todd Helton, who could go in the Hall of Fame, possibly. I sent it to him. I don't know if you can see it, but he signed it over there.
All the way down there.
Yeah. And then there's a second piece that goes with this. Todd Helton then sent me a thank you card. And I think it's in this book, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes the things that I actually do have organized are where things get lost. What, are we in your way? Oh, here it is. Yeah, thank you card. So I asked him to sign it, and then I misspelled my name, but
That is awesome.
Yeah, sent me. Thank you.
That's really cool. That's
Randy Johnson, after he just finished signing that ball.
that honestly is such a cool.
Bartolo Colon, because I had, you remember the behind the back flip thing that he did? I had him sign a glove, inscribing the date and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes I will do that. That's Snicker, I don't know why. That's Joe Morgan. My wife and I with Kenny Lofton, who would not sign a glove. He'd take a picture with us, ate dinner with us, but would not sign a glove.
just amazes you. I wonder why.
I don't know. Probably had a contract. Me and Jim Palmer, and he had a few drinks. But this is a place up in Cooperstown called the Tuna Cliff Inn, and if you go up there, they're all there at different times. So no one was online for Palmer, so I had a chance to, talk with them and stuff like that. So as you can see, we're having a good time there. Steve Garvey, I had him sign a glove. Let's see who else I have here. Oh, Luis Aparicio.
This is an awesome collection.
There's Me and the Goose. That's Eric Davis. Pete Rose. Johnny Bench. John Smoltz. This is George Foster. Longoria. Me and Ryan Sandberg. Dave Winfield. Pedro, and a great story about Ricky Henderson here. Okay? So Ricky Henderson is there, and his agent's there. So I bring I bring a ball, and this was probably about 2016, so the Mets had just been in the World Series. So I wanted him to say, "Let's go Mets," and sign it. But he didn't know how to spell "let's." So the ball says "Litz," L-I-T-Z, go Mets.
Really?
Yeah.
That is...
And Pedro was sitting right across from him and was laughing his tail off about it. There's Winfield, who is, by the way, one of the nicest guys I've ever, Dave Winfield was fantastic. He was in a good mood that day. Reggie, Lou Piniella. Okay. When Mike Piazza got in the Hall of Fame, I was the number one ticket for the first autograph he signed officially after he got in. So that's why he is there, and you can see the jersey he signed for me. And I had it all laid out the way I wanted it. And he said, "I don't like the way it's looked." He goes, "Let me do it this way. Trust me, you'll love it." And I did. So he put his name, I have it at home, there, and then did all the statistics, all the stats on the 31.
That's cool.
These are my daughters who are in college now. But you can see these are numbers, 4, 5, 3. There's ticket number 1. Let's see what else I got here. That's a little grade. That's me and Brick. Eddie Murray, we did him. Really, Stephen King, Tom Glavine. Pedro again. Brett Saberhagen.
Yep.
This is Evan Longoria's Gold Glove, the actual Gold Glove, right there. So they had it on exhibit at the Rays, so my daughter and I went. This is me and Donnie Baseball, Mattingly. This is Torrey Hunter, who played years ago, and him signing a Gold Glove for me. He's become very hard to get a hold of these days. Me and Daryl. Who is it? Who is this one? I don't even know. There's Longoria. I think I told you that story where he flipped the ball on my daughter, and we paid because my daughter loved Longoria. We needed a Gold Glove. She bought a ball, a special black one. You pay the $100, whatever it was at that time. And he took the ball and she said, "Can you sign it here, like on the sweet spot?" He goes, "Nope, can't." Flipped it and signed it on the side panel. Well, I was furious, so I wrote to the Rays and stuff. So we got like 3 or 4 different Rays balls coming from every department in Tampa. Nice guy, Ben Zobrist. when he played. Very nice guy.
I've heard he was nice.
Very. Will Myers. There's Reggie and my little. That's the Oakland A's glove that I have that Reggie signed.
Yeah. I like
Those
those.
are so cool.
They are nice. They're beautiful. They're just hard to find. Okay, so this is Francisco Lindor when he was on the Indians.
Yeah.
That's not Hosmer. I'm trying to remember who this is. We were out west for that one. Oswaldo Cabrera. Will Myers again. Carlos Correa. First signing he did after he was drafted number 1 overall. He was like 15.
That's awesome.
Sean Rodriguez, David Wright, Eddie Murray, Ray Knight, Steve Carlton, Eckersley, Don Sutton. A lot of these guys have passed away, to be honest with you. Like
Yeah.
Ralph Kiner. He was a great Juan Marichal. Killebrew, nicest guy in the world, Tony Perez. My youngest daughter hadn't been born yet, so we were at this place called Seventh Inning Stretch. And he walked in through the back door, and my daughter, with the whole trip up there, we had been talking to her how to introduce yourself. I said, "Hi, I'm Madison Natalie Kaler." "Hi, I'm Madison Natalie Kaler." So she just, I guess we were just not paying attention. Great parents, right? And she goes up, and he goes right up to her and goes, "Hi, how are you?" And she goes, "Hi, I'm Madison Natalie Kaler." And he goes, "Hi, I'm Ozzie Smith." So I ran over and said, "Can you get a picture with the two of you?" And as you can see, he loved it.
He's
Yep.
my favorite, so.
That's
Yogi Berra, Paul Blair, Bobby Dorr, Orlando Cepeda, Rod Carew, Bob Gibson, William McCovey. By this time, he was really sick. Gaylord Perry, Duke Snyder, Duke of Flatbush. Now this guy's Ken Frailing. He was a substitute teacher, not even a substitute teacher in Sarasota County Schools, but he lives here, and he's the one who's really good friends with the Goose Gossage because they came up through the White Sox together. So he was at Tuttle Elementary School all the time. So he's the one who got me in touch with the Goose, and that's why I have so much Goose Gossage stuff and stuff like that. And of course he signed that. Oh, and he's also good friends with Carlton Fisk, who came up, who lives in the area as well. So they're all Richie Fernando Rodney, Jeremy Helton, who was Rookie of the Year. Me meeting Wade Boggs in the airport. No one recognized him. He's walking around just like that. Nobody knew who he was. That was Matt Harvey before he screwed everything up. Okay, so this is the 69 Mets, where I got a lot of stuff from here. This guy is Ron Taylor, I believe. I'm not sure. Ron Swoboda, Ed Cranepool. Not Ron Swoboda. Is it Ron Swoboda? Yeah, Ron Swoboda. Art Shamsky. Al Jackson from the original 62 Mets. Wayne Garrett, who lives here in town, who used to coach for the Sarasota High School team, like help out. And his daughter was the soccer coach. Not sure who those are. Oh, Clem Labine, Don Newcomb. There's me and Daryl. Me and Mike Schmidt. Paul Molitor. Earl Weaver. So the picture, Bob Feller didn't know what to do with, as you can see, my daughter just wanted to hug him. So he was like, didn't know what to do. Like he was like, So it was Earl Weaver. It was like, Bob, just hug the kid. Take the picture.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
That's
Goose, of course, I love that picture of Seaver. Vita Blue. I don't know, I have such a soft spot, but to me, the two nicest are Winfield and Goose. and Brooks Robinson. Brooks Robinson. We were at the Tuna Cliff. I didn't even pay or anything to have Brooks Robinson sign anything at all. But he was teasing my kids. Like he'd go up to them and go like, and look the other way. Just silly stuff to my girls, right? So of course, he wanted to take this picture more than we did. He's just such a great. I've met him a couple before he passed away. He's just such a nice guy. And so this is kind of like my book of, I guess, documenting what I've been able to get.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Those are some incredible stories.
Oh yeah. A guy that is really nice is Doc Gooden. I mean, I know it sounds bizarre, and he's not a Hall of Famer, but there's a plate, if you ever get a chance to go up for like Hall of Fame weekend, right? If you ever get a chance to do that, everybody's just kind of like there in a happy mood. It's kind of cool because you see everybody from all over the country in their Mariners jerseys, their Brewers jerseys, their Mets jerseys. It's cool. So like we're eating lunch, he's with his 2 grandsons. It's me and my girls. And so the tables were tight. So we're like, he's like, let's just put the tables together. So they are sitting there just eating lunch with Doc and myself, his grandkids, and my daughters. And he's asking where they go to school. And I'm like, oh, we're from Sarasota. He's like, oh, I live in Tampa, blah, 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 all kind of stuff. And that was it. So it's a very unique experience. And they sit out, and here's the thing, they sit out on tables. So like this, it's hard to explain, but like, you see these pictures here? They're just, as you're walking down the road, Main Street, they're just sitting there. And you can pay this was before they charged to have their photo taken, but you just sit there and you just chat with them and banter with them back and forth. So, I didn't pay anything to have this picture with Harmon Killebrew. Everyone's in a good mood. Raleigh Fingers, you can see it's all outside. Ralph Kiner, I kind of got him at lunch, but and so it's a great experience.
So cool. That's just.
A few years ago, this is what got the whole craze started. Really was historic autographs, and they do stuff now.
Yeah, I love that brand.
Yeah, and so here you go, and so they got JSA or whoever, and there's Hank Aaron, who only won one of them. Now, the one that's bizarre, and you can see there's another guy I took a shot on, Ronald Acuña.
So, was that like a product you
Yes.
could get? Really?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Let me see. There's Mantle. Oh, here it is. Now, this was before the Gold Gloves came out, but they had this version before they did it. It just wasn't golden yet, because I think he passed away in 1995. So if you take a look, I never thought I'd get a Mantle Gold Glove. But you can see it's kind of rough, but who cares?
Right.
So it's JSA'd. And then the hard ones, though, I'm going to tell you, like, the guy that I struggled with finding was Tony Gwynn, because he passed away. And so I kind of had to make an adjustment on him. Get this back in here. This is the hardest part of this collection. These boxes are cool, but flimsy. So
I can see that.
yeah, they're very flimsy. So people are usually amazed with how I store them, but to me it's the best. Hold on, that was Mantle. Who were we just talking about?
Tony Gwynn.
Oh, Gwen. He'd be over here. Hampton. Okay. So that year, See, they made gold gloves, but they actually made a glove that was an actual replica of the glove he used. So even though he's passed away, my gold glove for him is Tony Gwynn on a Gwynn glove.
I would say that's pretty cool. If you
Yeah.
had to have anything to substitute it, I think.
Yeah,
that's,
I've never found a Gary Carter, and I have not found a Kirby Puckett, though. Of those three guys who kind of passed away in that era really young, I have not found those two yet. They're out there probably. Here's a guy that was tough, and I know I keep going, was Bill Freehand. Here it is. This one was hard. He should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. He was on those Tigers Dynamo teams. But it was hard. I've never, ever seen another Bill Free.
Really?
Nope.
How did you get that one?
There was a guy up in Detroit when I was up there. And through the museum, I was trying to get frickin' Baez. And through the museum, was able to put me in touch with somebody who might be in touch with somebody who was like, we found about, like, when I was up there, 10 or 15 Bill Freehand signed gold gloves with a bunch of other guys, which I was ready to settle on. And then the last day that I was there, this guy's like, no, I have a single Bill Freehand. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. You know, like, I'm not giving up this opportunity.
Yeah, this collection is amazing.
And I try to keep, in alphabetical order. This is the hard part. Like a guy like a Matt Olson, you know, finding these new guys, and they charge a fortune, is not easy. So it's actually cheaper to get like a Robin Yount or a Hall of Famer than to get like Matt Olson or Greg Maddux, for example, who, he charges like $300 to sign one. I had a friend of mine help me out there, but
That's gonna be one of my favorites. Love Greg Maddux.
yeah, and of those three guys, Maddox, Smoltz, and Glavine, he's the only one who won 18 in a row.
Yeah.
Gold gloves. Here's a funny story. Bobby Grich, who played for the Angels, was a really popular second baseman when I was a kid. And the thing about Bobby Grich is they always used to say he used to hold the ball so tight when he threw it. And so, because he was a second baseman. So second base, I guess shortstops hold it lightly, second baseman hard. So he used to call it Grich the ball. That's why managers say Grich the ball. Grich the ball if you're playing second base. And I was playing first base, so I used to hear this. So I wrote him a letter. And look what he wrote back.
Grich the ball. That is awesome.
That is so cool.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. What you do if you're into this kind of, there's a thing like I think I mentioned, sportscollectors.net. It's $15 a year, I think, $20 a year, and it's got people who send away autographs with like a self-addressed stamped envelope. Hall of Famers on there. Like I just sent away for 2 things from Raleigh Fingers and Dennis Eckersley, and instead of waiting for a signing,
Right.
you just send it to them in the mail. They charge like $20.
Yeah.
And then they send it back. So like all this Raleigh Fingers and Dennis Eckersley, Jim Rice is another guy, Mike Messina, Andre Dawson, Fergie Jenkins, all those Hall of Famers, they sign right, Lee Smith, they sign right through the mail. Goose Gossage. Yeah. And you can get their addresses right from sportscollectors.net. And it, and then you just post, I sent it on such and such a date, got it back in 8 days. So a lot of these guys, this is how because they didn't make a lot of money back then. Right. So their pensions are not a lot. So their income, that idea of getting like 15 to 20 of these requests a day with 20 to 30 bucks in them each is what sustains a lot of them. It really does. So yeah, through the mail has been pretty good to me too.
Yeah.
TTM as they call it.
Yeah. Got a lot of people I know that do TTMs.
TTM is a great idea. Once COVID hit, everyone was kind of like, the idea of meeting up with, these public signings, You know, it's kind of nice because, like, I have it somewhere, but my dad, even though my father's not Dutch, his adopted father was. So I wrote to Bert Blyleven, who's from the Netherlands, and that's where he signed it. And I was telling him how, you know, my father's family, my last name came from a place called Jersika in the Netherlands. So he writes back, tell your pops, if you're not Dutch, you're not much. On a yellow little Post-it note. So they really do, really do some cool stuff in the mail. They really do.
That's what I love, just having that interaction with.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just through the mail. I mean, that's fine. Here's another one I'll show you. And because the guy actually called me on the phone. He lives right here in Florida. Jackie Brandt. Okay? Honestly, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I've talked to him on the phone, all that stuff. So Jackie, I don't know how everything happened, but I got an address from my aunt, because he played for the Orioles. So I wrote him a letter and said, would you sign this? So he calls me on the phone one day. And he says, hi, this is Jackie Brandt. Can I speak to Jeff Kaler? I said, hi, Mr. Brandt. And he said, I got this gold glove. What do you want? I said, I want you to sign it for me, please. I said, my cousin said you'd sign it, no problem. And so I say, who's your cousin? And I go, you know, Nick, I used his name. So it must have been his wife or a daughter in the background. She's like, we know Nick. So he's like, so we talked for about 45 minutes. So I asked him two questions. Question number one is, I said, who's the best player that you ever played with? And he said, well, I was playing right field. The center fielder, Willie Mays, was the best that I played with. He said, now, do you want to know who the best player ever was that I ever saw? And I go, yeah, it goes Pete Rose. That came straight from Jackie Brandt on the phone call.
I would have said Willie Mays.
Awesome individual. Awesome. Michael Bourne. He was the guy who owned like 5 different big time apartments in Texas. See, this is stuff that doesn't always get out about these guys. And people couldn't pay the rent. So he went totally rent-free for everybody for about an entire year.
Just goes to show you what a nice person he was.
Yeah, and there was no publicity about it, nothing, anything like that. Another guy who's really nice that doesn't get his Jermaine Dye, played for the White Sox. I think he was on that championship team. Really nice guy. Yeah, I mean, some of these guys are really nice and some of them are not. I cannot tell you how not nice he is. And I would love to tell you, true story. My wife and I go to spring training down in Jupiter, okay? And I don't know if you've been on that side for spring training.
We haven't yet.
The Cardinals and, is it the Marlins? Share a duplex, okay? And this was when, for the Marlins, Mattingly was the manager and Barry Bonds was the hitting coach, right? And there was a kid in a body cast, and you could pay like $15 to stand on the field while I took batting practice. So we did. Ichiro comes over. He was playing with the Marlins at the time, signs a couple stuff or whatever, and he speaks perfect English. And then one guy goes, Mr. Bonds, will you sign his cast? We promise we will not ask for an autograph. He goes, nope, and just waltzed right out.
That's terrible. I've heard a lot of stories saying that he was not a nice person.
Yeah, I don't know what things he himself did that would cause him to be so bad. I don't know. And both the bonds that I have, like this one right here, this was signed, I could tell you this because of the autograph, was signed when he was in Pittsburgh. So this is like when he was a young kid still. This one, I think was signed about the same time. You can tell it's a little different. So this would have been before he got to be. This one which I've never seen another one exist, I got at the actual Hall of Fame. Yeah, see, this one came from the Hall of Fame.
Ken Griffey Jr. Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
That's cool.
Trying to think which other one. Liam, who are the big names that you'd want to see? Like, get some close-ups for you.
What do we have here? Steve Carlton.
Oh yeah, there's Steve Carlton. Yeah, I got him on a Gold Glove. He's never won one, but it was that weekend we were there, and I was just like, you know,
Might as well.
yeah. I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's talk about who are the biggest of the. Okay, I'll give you a couple. Get this out. Sometimes, though, you have to make an investment. In other words, sometimes you got to bite the bullet when they're available. Where is he? Sometimes I find my schedule. Saw it the other day. Let me get down. Let's see. Here it is. Check out that one.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Say hey authenticated. Says on
Which
the
is
sticker.
questionable authentication. Yeah. I did, but I on the back of that, it's also PSA DNA.
Okay. That is incredible.
And then I'm trying to think. So he's a big. I'm trying to think who were some of the other big time. You got the Mantle, the Mays, the Aaron. Oh, here's.
Jeter.
Yeah, this is not an easy one to get either.
Really, does he just not sign these a lot?
He didn't sign anything a lot unless you pay a lot of money. He's a businessman first.
Yeah.
That's all right.
He bought into that, grading company?
Yeah, and here's another guy who is a real jerk. While we're on the subject. Andres Jimenez of the Indians, or the Guardians, I should say. This is the only one of these that exists. He won't sign them because he has some contract. Because apparently he's a future Hall of Famer, he thinks. And he was like that. He was like he had that attitude even when he was in the Mets farm system. So I don't know where it comes from. There's that. I'm trying to think who else are the big name guys.
Carlton Fisk's up there.
Fisk, yeah, you can get him easy on anything you want. You know he lives right here. He lives up in Lakewood Ranch. And all he charges, he is a survivor of, oh here, this is what I was looking for. I think he's
Frank
underrated.
Robinson. Gold Glove, 1985. I think it's cool when they inscribe it.
Yeah, I do too. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't. You know, it's one of those.
I think Frank Robinson is underrated. I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, first African-American manager. I mean, he did a lot. I mean, he did a lot for the sport, I think.
Extremely talented players.
Oh, his numbers are better than Mantle's if you really break them down.
Right.
Here's A-Rod. He did win a Gold Glove. You know, he did win one, so.
Some people like him, some people don't.
Yeah. He had a chance to kind of rebirth himself in the. Funny story about this guy, Bobby Thompson. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. All right, so Bobby Thompson I searched for because I needed this Gold Glove. Never could find him, never could contact him, whatever. So finally, a friend of mine was able to find him. It's like, have you ever done a signing? He goes, what's a signing? Like, he just didn't even know what they were. So now, all of a sudden, because I put him on the chase to find Bobby Thompson, and he made a fortune off the signing, Bobby Thompson signs all the time now as income. He just didn't know it existed. Another player just like that's Nefi Perez. He won 1 Gold Glove, but now he's making a fortune in the DR off that 1 Gold Glove because he knows that there's a market out there now for 1 Gold Glove. Now let's move over here. I don't know if this was a good idea or a bad idea, but I decided that I was going to try and see, this is my favorite mitt. Here, for example, is Raleigh Fingers. I love the Oakland A's mitt.
Yep, so do I. I think the colors are just great on that.
They're very.
And what year were these gloves?
I have a picture. I have an advertisement from about 2000. But like, that's my Oakland A's Reggie.
That's extremely cool.
But look what I did. And I don't know if I made a mistake or not. Well, I tried to get players on teams that they're not known for being on. So there's my Pedro on the Phillies because we played for them for a year.
Oh no, I think that is cool because
Yeah,
it just goes to show you.
It was just
Not many people would be like, yeah.
Yeah, it was just different. You know, it was. That's what I was thinking. Hold on a second here. Let me see what I got here. Okay, check this out. But you got to look. You might have to look underneath the lighting. So a rolling shop like the one they used to have in Orlando. Do you see the autograph there?
Yep.
Okay, so there's a JSA sticker on the back. That's David Ortiz. And they were just selling them like some guy said, look, I have all these old Twins ones, whatever. Might be a letter that I own. And all of a sudden I'm looking at this one day and I'm like, wait a second. That's David Ortiz, but on the Twins, because he was on the Twins before he was on the Red Sox. So he signed it then, and that's why it's faded. But that's his autograph right there. Oh, here's one. Actually, check out this one. The 2000 All-Star Game.
Oh, that is cool. 2000 All-Star Game, Mariano Rivera.
And I have another one of those All-Star Game ones, which I'm going to have Piazza sign.
That's
And he does a great job with his autographs. Because I also have him on the Yankees.
It's one of the prettiest
no,
autos.
he is one of the greatest autos.
Sure does. And that's the one on the Yankees.
It's so consistent, too. The other day I was looking at the Topps 206 cards, and it was a Mariano Rivera autograph.
That's so
And
awesome.
they're so shrunk down, but it looks the exact same and still looks gorgeous.
Absolutely. Yep. And I have him on one of these, and I have him on a Gold Glove.
Cal Ripken Jr. It's a cool one. I really love these mini gloves.
Another
I do too.
fantastic human being.
Jim Toma. I've heard he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he really is. He really, really is. Now, these are two guys that I have a feeling are going to go into the Hall of Fame someday. One, I'm happy. The other one, I got while it was nice and cheap. Miguel Cabrera.
Yep, he'll
So,
be first ballot Hall of
I got
Famer.
him. Now, that being said, the other guy is Pujols, who I have up here somewhere. Of course, he didn't sign it. And then this one I got, because with my luck, he's going to end up in there.
Kurt Schilling.
Yeah, so I can stick him in the back here. Where is my
I know you like those, Mom. Ryan Sandberg. I've sent multiple cards in to get him to sign through the mail.
Yeah, good. Did
Yeah.
you get him back?
Yeah.
He's good at that.
Mike Schmidt.
He's a Gold Glover.
Arguably one of the best third basemen.
Yep, and this guy was another guy where, to my knowledge, albeit a Hall of Famer, this is the only one that exists, to my knowledge.
Juan Santa.
This one came straight from Venezuela.
Johan Santana.
He's a nice guy, too. You know, he really is a nice guy. Quiet, unassuming.
Marcus Semien.
Yeah.
I like Semien.
Now I gotta track down Seager. I have his brother. Oh, there's Ozzy.
Yep. Ozzie Smith. Lee Smith next to him as well.
Well, see, Lee Smith, I got him at a tough time because I didn't have one of these gloves of a team he was on. So I was like, you know what? I'm not taking a chance. I'll get him at least on a Gold Glove. That's always my default. But then I was able to get him because I had an extra Yankees one, and he did pitch for the Yankees.
Yep.
I got him on that one.
Smith.
Check out this glove. I don't know why, but I got a great deal on it. This is from the minor leagues. Okay, it was a minor league glove. I'm sure there's a ton of, but the big names were Jake Peavy, Joe Mauer, Adrian Gonzalez, and Grady Sizemore. Yeah, and I have a Grady Sizemore Gold Glove too. Now there's a site called Past Pros. Have you been to it?
I haven't.
Go there. It got owner's Colin Greer. He's got about 35, no, probably about 70 now, guys on there, including Steve Garvey, Keith Hernandez, Deion Sanders, all those big names. And you could fill up with, I think I counted 28 Gold Glove signatures just through Pass Pros. And what you do is you just send the ball, you pay up front to him. You put it like, it's like 20 bucks, let's say, to sign it. You provide the SASE, the self-addressed stamp envelope, and the envelope. And they send back within 5 or 7 days, and he handles it from there. It's called Past Pros. So you can get Keith Hernandez there. You can get Kenny Lofton, who was hard to get through there. You can get, I think, Bill North's still on there. Garvey's still there. Now he's not a Gold Glove winner, but Dale Murphy's still on there. Yeah. So it's a good, and he's a good guy too. Colin Greer's his name. So let's see what's over here. Very hard. This guy was tough.
Venezuela. But this is just an incredible collection. You don't see this every day. And yeah, this is awesome. Now, I always ask all of my guests I have on here, do you have a special memory related to the hobby or related to baseball?
Do I have yeah, I guess the thing is the personality of the player. I mean, you remember the nice ones. Okay, yeah, you remember the not so nice. You know. And I've come to the realization that not everybody's having a good day.
Right.
I understand that, and here I am just. But sometimes there are some players I've met that 5 times were all 5 times were bad days. Then there are some players like Dave Winfield, Brooks Robinson, Doc Gooden, Goose Gossage, guys that I've met multiple times who are always just so happy to they make it at least seem like they're just happy to see you. So and those are the ones you remember the most.
And before we head out, I just wanted to ask, is there any other stories you would like to share with them? I told you that, to be fair, I have a cousin of mine
Nick Markakis, who played for a long time, and he has helped. I mean, it does obviously help to have people who, that does help. But that being said, part of the chase is kind of some of the fun, you know. So I think the best story is Dusty Baker, who I sent through the mail. I think I was telling you about it. And he sent me the glove back signed with a $20 bill.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he paid me for his autograph.
That is incredible, and thank you for letting us take a look at your collection and showing us your collection.
My pleasure. Come on in if you want to take any pictures.